This is unprecedented. I'm Adam Klein, winner of Survivor Millennials vs. Generation X. Super duper fans, gather round. It's time for another installment of Survivor Talk with D&D.
Welcome to our recap and feedback show for the premiere of Heroes vs. Healers vs. Hustlers. Thank you. That's our live audience. I'm Dwayne.
You get a live audience and I don't get a live audience.
I don't know, because I paid people to sit in my other room next to me. Wow. My name is Dwayne. My co-host is David, and we're just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. Now, David, it is very important that you understand this. Okay. All right. Alan is not crazy. He's just confident. Now, about that cavity search.
Survivor may have picked up a new watcher last night. Because Terry was in the den with me watching the show.
Yeah? Oh, and she saw the guys. Okay.
She's not new to Survivor, but she hasn't watched in a while. And she stayed in there the rest of the night.
Your wife, man. Your wife loves the male body.
Now, on the other hand, the other time she commented was when the challenge came up and she said, "Why is everyone in their underwear?" I said, "Honey, because the production fairies show up every night before challenges and take all their clothes away except for their undergarments."
Wait, she's been watching this show long enough to know why they're in their underwear.
Yeah, but she forgets. She doesn't care, so she forgets.
It's for ratings, my dear. Ratings.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway. What a great episode. I have some initial thoughts. Do you want to do yours first or mine first, David?
I can, but I wouldn't call it a great episode.
Oh, really? I loved it.
Any Survivor is good Survivor. I'll always stick with that.
You say that a lot. Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was kind of taking medicine because I put my initial thoughts into the caption of the 1967 Sergio Leone's spaghetti western, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Okay.
I've done this before, and I did it again. And one of our feedback does this as well, I noticed. But the good from last night was the cast. We barely got a glimpse of a few people, but of the people I saw and the few moments of the ones we saw that we didn't hear from, I liked. And like I said in our preseason show with David and Jessica, these are people I want to watch play Survivor.
Right.
These are people I want to watch play Survivor, not the bad, which was production. They put in a Super Idol, which was a huge failure of design and performance. It still has a glimpse. I'm doing my initial reactions right now. So hold it. That's right. It still has a glimpse of playing a part, but it just fell over. But after the 3 beach scenes where each tribe got to the beach, every segment was influenced by a production influence, which is idols and advantages. And every segment included conversation about that. Whereas it really made me miss season 1, where they didn't talk about that stuff. They talked about the social game of it all and the alliance and all. So to me, that was the bad of last night. It was heavily influenced, in my opinion, by production interference. And the ugly.
Wait. What is production interference? Where
including idols, including advantages. Everything that's production has over the years thrown into this game really, to me, affected 2/3 of the game of the episode last night. And to me, it was a little distracting. This is just me, not saying it made it a horrible episode. I still loved it.
Yeah.
But to me, it was always there, So
can I ask about that, or is the next
absolutely,
part pertinent
absolutely.
to Okay. So the fact that the first thing people are talking about when they get on the island is idols, and not relationship, mm-hmm. or shelter. The fact that there's so much emphasis on idols and stuff has affected the way you enjoyed this first episode because it was so prevalent.
Because it was so prevalent, yeah. I would rather have seen more of the one of the first scenes we got of the heroes was the mom squad walking off.
Yeah.
And Ben looks at the other 3 going, "Hey, 4?
Yes.
You good?" That's what I want to see.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I want to see in the first 3 hours. Yeah. I think we're the same on that. I'd really like to see that. But then David going off to check the fire, which he asked about, and they actually told him, "Do you want to go check it?" And he said, "Sure." Right away, we get the next 10 minutes of, "You were searching. Show it to me. Did you find it? I trust you. I don't trust you."
Wait, that was Mike.
That was Mike and Joe. I mean, Mike and Joe. Yeah, whatever I said. but it was influenced by that. So many scenes after that were influenced by something outside of the social part.
All right. Now, do you want to talk about the idol now or later on? Because you don't like the idol either. Let's talk about that later on.
Let's talk about it now. Oh, later on?
Yeah, let's do it later on.
All right. So
I like it and you don't. And I think it's still in the game and you think it might be a little bit in the game. So we'll deal with that later. Is that a safe assumption?
No, we can do it all now.
Well, I have it in my notes for later.
Okay. Well, what I wrote as far as that, well, if you don't, we'll talk about it later if you want to talk about it later.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, I don't. Like you said, I wrote the most powerful idol in the game, given stipulations that make it the most dangerous advantage to have. Because if we're going to talk about it, Chrissy did the right thing in not playing it for Christina.
Well, for Katrina, right? Absolutely.
Katrina, sorry. See, I didn't even spell it. Sorry, Katrina, you're out in 3 days, and I didn't spell your name right. Sorry. But she obviously made an agreement to vote against Katrina. She was in with the group, and she smartly didn't play it. Oh, yeah. And now she's got it either as a souvenir or as a threat later on she can use. I mean, it has no use. Yeah.
Oh, yes, it does. Go ahead.
It has use only that she can hold it and show it and try to use it to its advantage, but she can never play it. But the good thing that can come out of it that I want to see is if they all make the merge or if the swap allows it, I want to see Ryan go up to Chrissy and say, did you have to use it? And to me, that's a bond that's going to be secure. How could she turn down a guy that sent her that idol? So that's, to me, is going to be the only thing that comes out of this good. I mean, I don't know. She could try to play it later, but I'd hate to see her get burned by trying to play it and then try to flush it and it has no value.
Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it was a remarkable way to use a super idol. Normally, we don't like super idols, right? But I think this was genius by CBS because of the stipulation that it's going to be at tribal council one way or the other. If it's you, then it's you. And if you need to play it, then play it. If the person you want to go home is the one going home, then don't play it. All right. But in my mind, you're still playing it by not playing it. And I'll get to that in a second. David gets to give it. I'm sorry. You did it. Now I did it. Ryan. We got David right on the brain because of our D&D patron sweepstakes. But anyway, so Ryan gives it to whom he thinks is hurting the most. Obviously one of the moms, and lucky for Chrissy, she threw up, right? We'll talk about that later. But then Chrissy now has this. Now Ryan got to use the idol because he now has a connection with Chrissy later on in the game, right? He also got to use the idol because it gave him a connection with Devin in his own tribe, which he needed. And Devin is a good guy to have with you for a Ryan. So that's another thing that I liked about it. I think Ryan played it well. And then Chrissy, I think she also played it well. She didn't need Katrina with her. All that was going to do was put a target on her back. The only way you're going to use that is if one of your core alliances goes or you go, right? But now she has it for later. I'm telling you, that thing looks like a real idol. You could pretend you have one. You could give it to somebody that you don't like or that you want to vote out, and you and your alliance can say, hey, let's give this idol that doesn't work anymore to so-and-so, let them feel like they're safe, and then we'll vote them out, right? You can do it that way. There's so many things you can do with this. Plus, when she and Ryan get together, as you said at the merge, instant, right? So Ryan and Devin right there. I love it. So there you go.
Here's what I would have liked to have seen.
Okay.
What I didn't like about it, everything you just said are excellent points to use down the road, but you're still dealing with an empty glass. It has no liquid in it. It's got no power to it. It's an empty glass unless you use it in the right way for presence, not for its power.
But it does have power. You can't say it doesn't have power because I just told you all the ways that it has power. It just doesn't have power in the way that it originally had power.
Right.
It's still useful. It still has power unless we're dealing with semantics here.
Well, yeah, I would use the word influence. It could have more influence.
Okay.
As when I'm thinking power, I'm thinking get me out of the game.
Okay.
Because my first thought was if it's not used why not go back to the original owner and be a standard idol for the next three tribal councils? Doesn't have to be passed anymore, but it could be used. I mean, Ryan's glad to have found it, but you saw the music change and his mouth dropped when he saw it's only for the first tribal. Ryan's like, I'm Yul Kwan. I'm taking this thing to the end, but all of a sudden, no, you're not, because if you don't go to tribal, you're not even going to use it. Now, all the peripheral things about the idol that you just brought up, I loved. I totally agree. Ryan used it perfectly. I love that he and Devin connected on that. And Chrissy's going to keep it now, and she can use it as she wishes. But to me, the only bad thing about this idol, and I know I just poo-pooed it, and you just gave a lot of good props. The actual only bad thing about the idol would be playing it in the first tribal council, because you're going to be a target the next time it comes back.
Right.
Especially if you were in a group. So I think Chrissy played it perfect. So my pick actually played it perfect.
Yeah.
But yes, you brought up a lot of good points that actually gives it a lot of pros versus cons.
It's the only way I would want the super idol in the game. It's the first time a super idol has been in the game that I thought, okay, that I like.
So it's now powerless, but still holds influence. Could have influence.
The way you say it, yes. I think you and I mean the same thing, but we're saying it differently, and we're not going to argue over semantics, of course. But
I think that would only last one tribal anyway. Now, my final point is
shut
ugly.
up.
My final part is the ugly.
It's the ugly. Okay.
And my ugly is very short, but it's no matter what the contents. Anytime someone's stomach launches instead of drops, it's ugly, at least for me. So that was the only thing I could come up with ugly.
I'm sorry. Would you say that one more time? For those who didn't hear it.
No matter what the contents, anytime someone's stomach launches instead of drops, to me, it's ugly.
They threw up.
I don't deal well with that.
Oh. Yes. You didn't like the whole throw up thing, did you?
No. I'm like, they're not going to show it. They're like, oh, they're showing it.
It's like, what the heck? This isn't Breaking Bad. I don't need to see that. Yeah. No, but anyway. All right. So those are your initial thoughts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. Okay. So here are my initial thoughts. It's kind of my initial topic. How far can bullying get you? And I am going to go out. I'm sure there are going to be some people who go, that's not bullying. It kind of is. The way they were handling it. If it's not bullying, it's incredibly aggressive play. All right. And it's using especially in the Joe versus Mike situation, it's using, I'm a probation officer. I know how to manipulate people. I know how to scare people. I know how to get what I want. So for Joe and Mike, it really felt kind of like, Mike even said kind of bullying it out of me. Right. Mm-hmm. There's no soft handedness. There's no empathy. There's no care. There's no nothing other than boom. I know this and you're going to do this. Right. And then Alan does the exact same thing. Right. Only with Ashley and JP. And they're like totally shocked that he's doing this. But for him also, it's very, I know this. I know this. I know this. I know I can't get my eyes as big as his are. So my question is, first of all, I don't like that style of play. I don't think others will either. But will people react differently depending on which person you are bullying? So does Joe's tribe react differently to Joe because he's bullying Mike, who is admittedly smaller, would be considered a nerd in high school by his own saying? I believe he even said that. He's one of those guys that's very successful now that everybody kind of laughed at when he was a kid. Versus Alan, the way he bullies Ashley and JP, will they feel differently? I think they do a little bit. What do you think?
I think as far as the healer tribe, it's going to be who's more important to the people back at camp. Because if Joe comes back and say, hey, I got a little verbal with Mike, but I think I got out of him that he did not find an idol. I tried to trick him into telling me if he did or not, but I don't think he found one. If Mike goes back and says, man, have you guys talked to Joe? He's just so, and so he was so, I really felt pressured. And they're going to sit back and say, well, you were the one that went out by yourself looking for an idol.
Right.
And Joe did tell us he was going to go and try and find out if you had an idol or not.
Right.
It depends on the perspective. It depends on who's listening. It depends on how it comes back.
Right.
Now, on the Allen side, Allen's interrogating his alliance.
I know. That's crazy.
In front of people. Because even Katrina said that she saw them down at the beach and this whole conversation. And I don't understand. why he's doing it to his trusted alliance within 3 days, because if these people watch Survivor, and most of them do, in 6 or 9 days, Alan could be on a new tribe with JP and Ashley and other people that JP and Ashley say, you know what? Alan is not trustworthy.
Okay.
He could lose Ben and Chrissy immediately. And so could Joe. Joe could be, because it's not bullying unless it's bullying to Mike. If Mike thinks it's bullying, then it felt like bullying. But to me, it's in the perspective of the receiver of that talk. And it did feel a little bit like bullying, but at the same time, it was also his way of trying to manipulate people.
Okay.
What?
Go ahead.
No, that was it, because I know you're bursting.
Well, okay, the Allen thing, we're going to talk about why in the world he does that with his own alliance later. I don't feel like you make good points, but I don't feel like his tribe really sees it I think they just see Allen being crazy. Now, I think Allen comes back later trying to act like it was all strategy. I think that's a bunch of bull crap. But anyway, with the Mike and the Joe thing, I don't think Mike is a wimp. I don't think like Bruce in the chat room, Mike has grown up. He's going to push back. I agree. Mike's going to do great. Mike's not in any trouble. All right. But I feel like the other tribe members are watching this and they're thinking, golly, Joe, that's a little extreme. And the way you acted like Joe would talk whenever he came back, that's not even Joe. Joe was the way you said it was like, hey, I put a little pressure on Mike, but I did it. That's not Joe. That's not how he would talk. We didn't see Joe
come back to tribe.
Well, I know, but that doesn't sound like how Joe would talk. I mean, Joe's more in your face, Anyway.
So what was Joe's intention? My thought is he's trying to put the target on Mike's back no matter what. If we lose, we got that guy that went looking for the idol. That should probably be our first target.
Okay. I think Joe's intention was to intimidate Mike and to basically get Mike under his thumb and under his rule. That's what I think Joe's intent was.
Now, Mike is grown, but I don't think Mike pushed back. I think he was really taken off guard. He even said, I'm kind of honored that you would think I'd find an idol this fast. Or, he didn't really come back and say, look, you don't need to talk to me like that. Whether I find an idol or not, it's none of your business. He didn't come back, but how do you come back? Because Joe is kind of a conversation manipulator too.
Oh,
if you start to talk, he's going to cut you off. And then he's going to come back with, hey, this is respect. This is out of respect for you. I'm not trying to be a bully. This is out of respect.
But see, that's what people like that do.
I'm not letting you talk. No. So, but I do love Joe's question when he said he didn't have an idol. I wish I did. And Joe says, did you get to search the whole island? Yeah. And Mike goes, no, I didn't search. Oh, wait a minute. No, I didn't search it all. But he says, no, I didn't. And Joe's going, uh-huh. Yeah. So this is probably how Joe talks to his people that he's watching, his probation people. But yeah, it did seem a little muscular talking to the nerd. It did seem a little bullying like that. And I agree it did. But at the same time, to me, it's how Joe presents it when he gets back. What are they expecting? Who's going to present what? And who talks to who? We never saw that because they didn't lose.
He even said before he went out, I'm going to take him to the side and I'm going to pin him down on it. Anyway.
But the most important thing that came out of that to me was the last thing Mike said. I don't trust him for anything.
Nope.
And if Mike and Joe get swapped to a tribe with other people, Mike's going to go over there and say, you cannot trust that guy. He's always putting people down. He's always being sneaky. And that's what's going to hurt Joe if it ends up being that.
Yeah. All right. So we have our opening scene with the introductions. David, are we going to call everybody David tonight? Apparently.
Are you just reading my name at the bottom of the screen?
No, I'm not. Yeah, that must be it. Probst is acting like, he doesn't know people for all those ultra casual fans who maybe just happen to turn on the TV, right? Because everybody knows he knows them. But anyway, but I found it very funny to watch them as he revealed their tribes, especially Joe. Joe was sitting there. Okay, we got the heroes. He talks about Ben. And if you want to talk about that, that's fine. Just do it in a second. But let's get to the healers. He says healers, and I immediately, because I told you what I was going to, that I felt like Joe was going to be like, what the heck? And I watched Joe, and he's kind of like, please don't ask me why I'm a healer right now, Probst, because I have no idea. I need to wait till production tells me, which they did later. And he said exactly what production told him, because that's exactly what Probst said in his pregame interviews with Wiggler, So there you go. I thought that was hilarious.
That was good watching their reactions, especially when he started quizzing them, because like you said, I'm wondering how many were thinking, how am I? Like, am I really like, what really? But the worst part is, to me, as a guy that's been watching since season 1, and we've been podcasting since One World, the worst part is, in like 2 weeks, we won't care who's a healer, who's a hustler, and who's a hero.
It'll be Yawa and whatever else.
Yeah. So thanks, Probst. We just move on. We're good.
Yeah. So you got Ben's a hero, obviously. Joe looks confused. Cody, basically, just translate everything he said into "I am one amazing person."
Cole.
Yeah, Cole. Isn't that what I said? I said Cody. Gosh.
Hey, it's
Cole.
week 1. It's week 2, because you should have learned it by now.
Yeah, we are blowing the names. At least I didn't
really?
call him.
You don't get Cole's name, Mr. 8-Pack and Mr. Muscle on the Toes? Come on, that's Cole.
At least I didn't call him David. So. But which I've already done and you've already done. So, but Cole, he wasn't being cocky. It's just, as you heard him, you're thinking, wow, this guy like takes kids and takes them in the wilderness and teaches them wonderful things. Oh, yeah. And Jessica's sitting down there going, oh, I've met my man.
but in a good sense, shortly thereafter, she says he's trying not to be the hunk and the muscular guy. Yeah. So she's fully aware of that. But even on the other side, her other eye's just winking and smiling and nodding.
Oh yeah. So. And then of course you got Mike, who comes right out and says what he says. I'm the sex doctor. And then awkward. Well, we just won't go there. All right. Hustlers. Okay. What did you think about Allie's comment about why she's a hustler? Sometimes I have to do her makeup.
Sometimes I have to cook for her. Sometimes I have to turn the computer on for her because somebody's not there to do it.
Sometimes I have to get up and turn on her TV. Sometimes I even have to get up and do her makeup if there's no one there. I'll tell you what, David, you and I have gained way too much celebrity if we have people like making our breakfast in the morning and coming and doing our hair and stuff.
I'm wondering if Allie goes, is that enough? If I qualified myself as a hustler?
Do I need to say anything else? I have to start her car with the remote starter from inside the house.
Now Allie could probably give life examples as to why she's a hustler.
Sure.
But to zero it down to that job as an assistant. I mean, I'm sure that's a tough job, and I wouldn't want to be somebody's assistant like that. But it just seemed like, go to Lauren. Let's talk to Lauren.
It would be funny if there's some video of someone saying, I have no idea why you have me in the hustlers. Like, Ryan, because I run fast with the with the luggage. Is that why I'm a hustler? I don't understand. Because I work for tips. What? Anyway. All right. Anything else about their introductions, or shall we get to the first reward challenge?
Let's get to the first reward challenge that I thought was pretty much kind of missed the boat.
Thought it missed the boat. Yes,
I did.
First reward challenge is underway. David, the goal of this challenge is to swim in the water without being knocked unconscious by flying crates full of watermelons.
Yeah.
I literally saw Jessica, and I'm using literally in the correct sense. I literally saw Jessica jump in, followed by someone throwing a crate very close to her.
Yes. I think Cole and Alan were just throwing crates and pallets full of stuff.
Yeah. And then Patrick, as Probst says, was throwing fruit just out in the ocean.
See, I went back and watched that little clip of Probst, and it's funny that you don't see anything going on behind Probst. It's kind of a close-up, and it's very funny, but it's almost like, I wonder if they went back and filmed that again, just to give him a funny line. Because Probst had quite a few little joking comebacks.
Maybe so. Patrick and Ryan were the last two on the boat. I listened to the Wiggler First One Out podcast today, or episode today. And so I do have some info from on the island that's really good that you can hear on Wiggler's First One Out episode, which is really good. So, okay. So get as many supplies as you can to your boat. And an even bigger reward is at stake. I was writing this in case you went, no, this isn't a reward challenge. So it definitely was a reward challenge.
Oh, yeah.
First tribe gets fire that's already lit. Hello, that's a first. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought so. And the second one gets flint, and the third one gets to paddle in the ocean for an hour.
So what I think was missed here.
Yeah, you missed my joke is what was missed. Go ahead.
No, well, I was hoping that they were collecting all the fruit that was left in the water since the other tribes were at the beach.
Yeah, really?
I mean,
Probst just thinks they were stupid. They were actually getting all the fruit.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm one of those that if you don't like something or you don't like somebody's plan or idea, have another plan or idea.
Yes.
Don't just say you don't like it. Have another idea. And I don't think the stakes were high enough for this challenge.
Okay.
Nor did I think the time limit on the boat was necessary. Fire is essential. It is very important. It can change the mood. It can change how your habitat. But it's not impossible to make without flint.
True.
There is ways to make it. But where was the urgency to get to the beach when your boat was filled with goods? I mean, Ryan and Patrick, like you said, were still on the boat. Everybody was off the boat when the bell rang, except for those two guys. And to me, they were stocking up. And this is a sure thing if we can get this stuff to our boat. Whereas fire, we got to beat the other two monstrous tribes to get to the beach.
Right. And by the way, the only reason why the bell hadn't rung yet is because Probst has a guy on the boat that's watching the super idol. Right. And he gives Probst a thumbs up whenever the super idol gets picked up. And Probst said there were two people left on the boat, Ryan and Patrick. And Patrick went right up to it, missed it, and Patrick went up and missed it, and then Ryan almost missed it, but saw it and stuffed it down his pants. And then they called time.
Pretty much. You might be right on that.
No, I am. That's what they said.
Well, that's how it was edited. Oh, that's what they said?
That's what they said. Yeah.
Oh, once it was found, they rang the bell?
Well, okay. They didn't say
Pretty
that
close.
specifically, but yes.
So where was the urgency to get off the boat and get to the island?
Right.
To me, the reward and the sacrifice and the punishment was not big enough. So, I mean, I'm confident we'll get fire soon because if we lose a challenge, we're getting fire in 3 days from our torches.
Yep, absolutely.
Or we might come in second in the immunity challenge and get flint. So at the worst, we might go 2 days without fire, 3 days without fire, if that.
Right.
But if it becomes glaringly obvious that the other boats are going to get there before us, because they couldn't actually start paddling until he rang the bell. But when he rang the bell, the other two tribes are just about to their boats and in their boats.
Yeah.
And if I'm Ryan and I'm Patrick and I see this, I'm grabbing as much more fruit as possible on the boat, throwing it off, looking for other items.
Sure.
But the point is, put something on the beach that makes them want to get off the boat and get there, like an advantage in the first immunity challenge.
Yeah.
Which could have been you get to pick your maze before the challenge even starts.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a simple little thing. But once the bell rung, the hustlers had no chance of getting to the beach first. They were still on the boat, like we were just saying.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that was a plan that Probst was not seeing because Probst said, there's no plan here. It's chaos. Everybody's just doing whatever. But Ryan and Patrick, I think, had a plan of getting as much possible stuff in their boat. I don't know if they cared about the fire, but it seemed obvious that they weren't caring about getting off the boat.
Who was it that said they could build fire in under 2 minutes with just wood?
Mike. I think that was Mike.
Right. So if I'm Mike, I'm like, guys, we do not have to rush to the beach.
It's just fire. Exactly.
Yeah. In fact, that's what I first thought whenever they said that. I thought, well, if you can make fire without a flint, then what's the rush? Get all your fruit and don't worry about it.
So my other thought is to make it so that people want to get to the beach. Perhaps the tribe that does finish last has to give up half their goods when they get there. Give them a reason to get off the boat and get to the beach.
Or the other two tribes get to just take everything from the third tribe.
Well, there needs to be some reward for that sacrificial plan of saying we don't want fire, we want goods. But if we get a ton of goods, more than everybody else, we're willing to give up half of it, not to rush up there and get. I don't know, but you see where I'm going with this. I really thought there should have been more. To me, fire is a big reward, and I know the real survivors are going to say no. You go get fire. But at the same point, 2-3 days without fire, and if it wasn't raining, they've done it. People have done it before. The horrible tribe on Second Chancers did it for the whole time they were that yellow tribe, I think, without fire.
Right.
So I really thought they missed a boat on this challenge. I thought there should have been more to it. There just seemed to be like no real penalty for finishing third. Yeah, you didn't get fire, but if I'm them, I'm staying out there collecting every piece of fruit I can find out in the water. We'll be there in a minute, Jeff.
Which, for clarification, is not what they were doing. They were
No, they were not.
They just couldn't do a boat.
They
It
had
was
paddles
funny.
in the water.
It was funny because they were like, we need to go right. And then I saw somebody paddling on the, no, we need to go left. I saw somebody paddling on the left.
Yes.
I was like, no, that's not how you go left. All right. So let's get on the beats, because one of the things that I noticed about the amazing, absolutely wonderful Healers tribe is that Rourke did something very interesting. As soon as they said her, like they wanted her to jump up and do the thing, and she went, no way. Because she didn't want to do it. In my estimation, it was that I don't want to get up that high. That kind of scares me. The look she gave was, that scares me to death, but I'm going to do it. That's the look I got from her. No way. And then, okay. I thought that was good as work.
My interpretation was they said, you're the lightest. And she said, no way. I thought that's what they said.
That's probably more accurate. I'm just, I'm not used to thinking in the lightest realm anymore.
But let me tell you something. Rourke is a smart lady.
Oh man, yeah.
She was really good in this episode.
About Rourke, another thing, and I had this later on, but I'll say it now. She is very smart, incredibly intelligent, and I think often speaks above people's heads. But but it doesn't seem like she's doing that. It seems like she knows. Sorry, but come down to she knows that she can't talk the way she talks to her friends, and I think she's doing great from what I can tell.
Since we're praising Rourke, I like Rourke also because it seems like she's playing 24/7. Yeah, she's constantly playing. I really like to see that.
And she's obviously not getting on their nerves because they didn't mind her giving direction at the immunity challenge at all. They took it.
Yeah, they did. Exactly. Well, I mean,
those are clues you pick up on.
She did not give it in a bossy, bullying manner.
Nope.
She just said, hey, when it's this, do this. When it's this, do this. And they're like,
right.
Yeah, that does work.
Yeah. Well, anyway. All right. So reward challenge is over. And about an hour later, the hustlers show up.
I did get that one, yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
What did he say? They think they're in the wrong game or the wrong show or something?
Yeah, he said they're not even in the game anymore or something like that. I don't remember. Now,
they've been eliminated.
Yeah. Now, Allie really put me in a hissy fizzy, if that's even an expression. She's sitting there for her confessional, looking great. She's got the buff around her and everything, and the buff is upside down. Don't wear a buff upside down. I mow the yard in a buff. Wait.
Please don't share with us that.
I put a buff on my head. Whoa.
What are the chances?
Hold on.
She pulled it.
Hold on. I wear clothes and I put a buff around my head. It keeps all the sweat out. Even then, I make sure Survivor is showing and the correct way.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Was it an upper body or lower body position? The buff. I mean, was it like a top?
Yes.
She wore it as a top?
Yes.
What are the chances she pulled it up right, but when she folded it over, didn't realize it went upside down?
So
production should have said something to her.
All right. We are not going to go into how she put on her buff. So Bruce didn't even notice she was wearing a buff. Really? I mean, okay. She's wearing a buff. And she was, I don't remember what she said because her buff distracted me because it was upside down.
She didn't like losing, which, you know what? It might seem small that they lost one challenge, but they got all the fruit. But at the same time, your boat can't even get to the beach.
Yeah.
That's pretty depressing. That is kind of depressing when you're that far behind in a challenge. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. All right. Healers, day one. Do they have an amazing beach or what?
Yeah.
I mean, you got this beautiful peninsula of sand. Just, oh man, just gorgeous. So everybody's, it's your typical first thing on the beach. Everybody's talking about how wonderful they are and how much they love each other and good communication. We've got good communication, so we're not going to lose. And, you get to hear all that stuff.
You know what? I look at all the podcasters in the world, and I was hoping it was going to be you. I was hoping you were the one that was going to be my podcast partner.
Yes, exactly. Of all the women in the world that were on this island, you were the three.
That's right.
That's right. Joe, man, we can't lose. Y'all are the three girls. And then later on, I can manipulate these people. Joe is not long for this game, in my opinion.
They're all my victims at this point.
Yeah.
So.
And Jessica is in love with Cole or his body anyway, for now.
Yeah. It's a smile.
So,
that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's those piercing eyes. So Heroes.
but she gives the line that he's trying not to be that person. Just
Yeah.
trying to play it off, but she gets it.
Yeah. So Heroes Day One. You got anything about that? Let you tackle that one.
Just that they go right to work building a shelter, collecting. Ashley and JP meet. They're collecting more.
Yeah.
They're just working.
And they like
working.
Cowboy, right? They like Cowboy.
Everybody likes Cowboy. Everybody's giving good comments about Cowboy. That's
Yeah.
how you make a good impression when people
Yeah.
are constant. But Mike pregame called him the biggest threat in the game. So there's something about Cowboy, something about Ben. Something tells me this isn't. If Ben doesn't win, we'll be seeing Ben again.
If Ben doesn't win, we'll see Ben again. Nice.
Did you like that? Okay. I didn't even write it down. I just came up with it.
Nice. See, I catch those things because I listen to you.
Huh? What'd you say?
Yeah, I know. Well, Gwen's in the chat room egging us on. You know how she is. Always does that.
He thinks I'm deaf. But anyway, I got that Alan called him. He can pick out tempo setters. He's looking for people that are trying to get too far ahead, but he wants to start the game at a full tilt sprint out of the gate.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
Yeah. And did you also notice Alan got the villain music immediately? He hadn't even spoken yet. And the villain music started. You know,
he gets all the looks. He's giving all the looks and everything.
Yeah. It's that eerie evil man. You know what? I'm finding that JP may just be very humble and a very quiet person. You know, because my initial read was, Survivor related. He didn't sound like he knew anything about anything and that he was over his head. But I'm wondering, because based on what Wiggler and Probst said, that Probst asked him 15 questions to give him the opportunity to defend himself at Tribal, and he never would. I'm thinking this guy is just a quiet, kind of humble, just kind of laid back kind of guy, and he's shy maybe or something. I don't know, but I think he's not as, whatever it was I thought of him before, I'm getting a vibe that he's a little better than that.
I think he's the opposite of Joe. He is definitely not a super fan.
Right.
Was not seen a lot of this show, but I think he's probably more comfortable around his bros and his dog. Maybe
he's
probably much more open in that group, but not necessarily in a bigger group.
So I guess the question is, will we find out that he really is just kind of out there like a surfer dude, only as a fireman, or like the stereotypical surfer dude, or just a fireman, or is he just really the way he plays his cards close to himself? Bruce thinks he's a doofus, but we'll see.
I think in Survivor terminology, he is a doofus, but if he's smart enough to hook up with Ashley and play the game with her, then I think that would be a very wise move for him.
Well,
hopefully they'll stay together. If he gets broken off from Ashley or Ben in a swap, then he could be in trouble.
Yeah. If they can keep Alan from announcing to the entire world every 5 seconds, these people are a couple. Heck, now they're sleeping together. Who knows what Alan's going to say next?
Exactly. And at the same time, JP could also get on the tribe where he's the only hero. And everybody looks at him like, you know what? He's such a nice guy. Like you're saying, he seems so humble, and he doesn't really go out running around looking for idols. He's not trying to talk mean to anybody. He's just working. Let's keep him. Yeah. So that could actually work out for him to play the way you're talking.
And for Alan to go off on Ashley and JP for an hour and JP remain calm. Ashley was raising her voice and JP was just like, dude, look here's my butt. Whatever.
Yeah, he's like, I can't swear on nothing. I can't give you a handshake. What do you? Let's go for a swim, dude. That's where the mafia take people when they don't want to come back from a swim. What do you mean? Let's go for a swim?
Yeah, really.
It's so serious. I'm like, does he have a gun or something?
Right.
Come on, what's he going to do in the water?
Okay, you and I are on a tribe. You're 50. I'm 48. Right? Do we go on the first day or second day? Do we go off and leave the 4 younger people together in the camp and us go off and get water? Do we do that?
No, we do not.
We do not.
We're all 4 of them there.
Yes, because as soon as they left, they were like, we're 4 strong, right?
Right. You're right.
It's like, what the heck? All right. We are 40 minutes in. Still on day 1, so let's skedoodle and skedaddle.
As we learned later from Katrina, nobody was talking to her.
Well, right.
Nobody was talking strategy. And I wonder if they just pretty much blocked off both the mom squad. As soon as they get labeled, this whole hero tribe was 2-2-2.
Yeah.
The whole episode. They easily, Ben and Alan easily got together.
Yeah.
JP got with Ashley and then the mom squad.
Yeah.
So it was kind of blocked off right away.
I think it was Chrissy pregame said something about she was pretty, one of them, I don't remember who said it, that Chrissy, that Katrina was not going to fit in right off the bat. She comes in with this sparkly purple visor, and that's just not going to work with this group. So, but anyway.
Yeah, I did get to read Josh's Hollywood Reporter exit interview with Katrina.
Yeah.
So, I did read that after you mentioned
All
that.
right, so let's talk about Hustlers Day 1. And the only alpha on that tribe is Lauren. Okay?
Yeah.
Because if you put her next to Crazy Patrick, he ain't doing nothing. Put her next to Devin, he's so laid back, it's like, yeah, whatever. You put her up against 125-pound Ryan, she is pretty much the alpha in that group. But I love the way she handled this. Lauren just kind of casually against a tree. Y'all mind if I make a suggestion? You know, not, okay, now this is what we need to do. Obviously, I'm going to be the one that's going to take control. No. Do y'all care if I make a suggestion? And her whole posture is laid back and non-authoritative and non-threatening. And everybody's like, cool. And they all seem to work together really well. And I like the way Lauren handled that.
They did. She said pregame that was part of her strategy, is that she did not want to lead, but she wanted to suggest and help others lead,
right,
and not go, especially as far as fishing is concerned.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I did not like about this segment.
Okay.
And this is me as a Survivor watcher. Lauren's comments and her confessional was about sticking together as a team. We can come back from this. We're not out of this. We can prevail. Meanwhile, Allie's comments were about an alliance and working with people. Mm-hmm. I wish they'd given us more from Lauren, but that to me doesn't sit well from Lauren, that she's looking at the team as a whole coming back.
Right.
Allie's already looking at breaking up and finding who she can align with.
Right. Which may mean exactly what you're saying, that Lauren's not thinking game. She's thinking group.
And we've learned from many survivors that they don't show me talking strategy, but I was talking strategy, and she may have been, but I just don't like that they showed it that way. To me, it was blatantly obvious that she was looking at the group, trying to keep them together as an alpha would keep the team together. Allie's already thinking, you know what? We lost. It's time to start picking and choosing.
We got to start. Yeah. And I think I could trust Patrick. She has to keep Patrick close to her though, because she knows that Patrick and she know each other. Which production didn't even know that, thanks to Wiggler again. Didn't even know that until one day before. How in the world that happened? But she has to keep him close, because if this guy's crazy, you can already tell. The whole crab thing in his pants and next episode, and you know, she's got to keep him close so he doesn't blow it.
She does, because I think she made the comment that everybody seems to like Patrick because he's funny. He's a goof off. He just gets along with everybody. But she never mentioned in the Wiggler interviews that she knew him. It was Patrick that knew her, right? No, it was her.
No, because
Patrick's the one that didn't mention it.
She talked about how she was nervous he might do something. All right, then.
But it's funny that neither one of them mentioned it in any confessionals.
No.
But I guess they're probably not supposed to, or else we're not going to hear about it.
Well, I'm sure they mentioned it. CBS just didn't choose to air it.
Right, exactly.
Unless it's going to become part of the game later on, they may just not air it at all. You know what I mean?
Right. But at the end, yeah. Oh, yeah, I got you. They're just cutting that part out because they don't want to advertise that the two people came in knowing each other.
Or if it doesn't have an effect in the game.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir. But this segment ends with what becomes a trend in this episode. Patrick brings up wondering who found the clue on the boat, because there was something on the boat. Uh-huh. They're like, really? And Adam's like, can we not talk about this right now? And Devin's like, you think so?
Ryan is like, can we not talk?
Really?
So first it was David, and now it's Adam. Boy.
I was talking to somebody at work, and I called him Adam. I don't know why I did that. But at the end of that segment, finally gets to examine. Ryan gets to examine his clue, and we get the high of it and the kind of low of it. But I still think if it wasn't played, it should go back to him.
Yeah, you've already made your comments about that.
But I liked your pros as to that thing staying in the game.
All right, let's get to the healers. Desi likes her tribe. We are in high spirits and we can communicate. Mm-hmm. Boy, I like her. She kind of reminds me, I like her.
Well, winning does that too. Keeps you in high spirits.
Yeah. She sounds like I would want to sit down and have a discussion. She seems very mature. Somebody I would
She may
enjoy.
not listen to this, but if she does or happens to hear it, or somebody that knows her happens to hear it, I would love to attend a viewing party. She holds a party somewhere because we're like 20 minutes apart.
Yes.
I'm 20 minutes like from where she lives. So if
Yeah.
she held like one in a restaurant, I would love to attend that.
Desi, did you hear that? David from Survivor Talk with D&D wants to go to one of your viewing parties.
So that would be cool.
Yeah, preferably the one in which you win.
Well, she won't be there.
Oh,
She'll be in California.
okay. Well, anyway, so Mike wants to go look for the idol.
But if she wants to take me to the finale, I'm more than willing to go to the finale.
Right.
So.
Gwen, don't count on David listening to that. I love Gwen. Gwen is my favorite chat person. No, I'm just playing. Anyway, so they're kind of making it like Mike shouldn't have went out and looked, but everybody's going out and looking. And it's what we got 10 minutes of their whole 3 days. So, so he goes out and looks on the fire, even though he's nowhere near a fire while he's looking at the fire. Mm-hmm. But, and so we've already talked most about that, unless you want to say anything else.
I love that he brought up his son. Even my son told me, Dad, you got to find an idol. Seeing these people that play, you got to find an idol.
Yeah.
Go find an idol.
I do love that we got to see what their map looks like. How cool is that?
Yeah.
That was a pretty neat map. And what's funny is Joe's like, he's got the whole island memorized. And I'm like, yeah, he's got a map. You look at the map and you might have it memorized.
Yeah, that was good. I just liked how Mike worked it out. That he was like, to the group, do we need to check on the fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
Cole's
enough.
like, do you want to go check on it? I'm like, yeah, I'll go check on it.
Yeah,
Fine.
I guess. Got to make
I'll be
sure
back in 2 hours.
Got to make sure it's up and running.
That's right.
All right. Hustler day 2. Wait. Yeah. So we got the whole interrogation thing, which we've already talked about. So I don't want to go into all that again. Hustlers day 2. Does it seem to you like Simone may be on the outs? And here's my 2 clues. She was shown watching the guys in alley bringing up the log. Right? Mm-hmm. So she was sitting there. They're doing the work. And she's just watching them. They're talking and having fun and laughing. The second thing is she was not shown with the 5 in the shelter when they were all talking. Either she's holding the camera or she just wasn't there. Those are my 2 clues that maybe Simone may be a little out of the loop.
Yeah. I guess her and Lauren were doing the palm fronds, whatever. But yeah, she was not.
Palm fronds.
Yeah. That's a good observation. I actually don't have anything about Simone because I didn't really.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's all we saw was her watch the other people. Well, that's kind of my point. My thing about Simone is where was she? And yet okay. Anyway, I've already said it. So how about Ryan connecting with Devin? It's kind of like Batman and Robin.
So watching this, I'm thinking, you know what? Joe could take a lesson from this. Watching Batman and Robin. No, it's not even Batman and Robin.
Yes, it is.
Come on.
Devin's Batman and Ryan is Robin.
Okay.
Because Robin always seemed like this little wimpy guy to me.
Hey, Batman. Ooh, I want to go with you and capture people.
Wait, that's not Robin. That's somebody else.
Holy falutins, Batman.
That's not the Robin I read about in the comics. But anyway, I understand.
The old Robin with the tights,
But I really, this is where I really wish Joe had played a different game. And I don't want to go too far back, but I would have rather him saying, hey, have you had a chance to find the idol? Have you had a chance to look? Can we look together?
Yeah.
Instead of the confrontational thing, because it left with Mike feeling like he couldn't trust Joe. And now we got Ryan waiting. I really feel like Ryan waited out, even though he admitted he wanted somebody opposite, somebody strong and big like Devin. It was his perfect choice. And he just waited for the right moment till they were alone and he approached it so considerately and so, truthfully that he told him what it was. He said, don't worry, you're not going to go home. He gave Devin the greatest feeling a person could have playing Survivor the first couple days of the game.
Oh, yeah.
He gave him the assurance that you are not going home if they try to vote you out. I guarantee you, I've got it. What a great feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, because nobody wants to be first boot. But what a great feeling Ryan got when he found it. And now Devin has. And that's such a great play from Ryan. Like, if we win, you and I aren't going home. If we lose, you and I are still locked.
Right.
Because I gave you this offer. What a great play from Ryan.
I know.
Good job, Ryan.
Exactly. The crowd agree with you, David.
Thank you. The crowd at your house, yes.
Yes, they're in the other room, but they sound like they're all around us.
It's around sound.
All right, so Heroes Night 2. This is whenever, let's see, somebody on our Facebook said, what did they say? Basically, Alan came out, let's see. Oh, I wrote, she's got Alan's crazy eyes. I wrote that in the, but anyway. But I don't remember who said it in the Facebook group, but there was a lot of discussion on our Facebook group discussion feed that goes on during the show.
Yeah.
About his eyes, and they're just like popping out. And which, you know, if you're not a member of our Facebook group, you should do it. Survivor Talk, stwdd.com/Facebook. Lots of great conversations in there. We always have a discussion thread during the show that's going on, and it's definitely spoiler free. So go check it out.
No, the discussion thread is not spoiler free.
No.
Facebook page is spoiler free.
Our Facebook group is spoiler free, but the discussion thread is full of everything because it's during the episode.
I went back and scanned this today, and what's neat is each subject has its own block of replies.
Oh, I know. It's great.
So they're not mixed in. It's like when they talk about the Super Idol, then they talk about Alan, then they talk about the challenge, and it's all within the same block. That's kind of cool.
Wiggler said that during Tribal Council that Alan's eyes were that way the entire Tribal Council. Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, so Alan is watching as Ashley and JP are laughing about the mouse. Now, I thought this was interesting. I got a look from Ashley that was like, oh, such a guy thing, right? About JP. Because JP was like, that's the first time. And she's like, what? For us to fight? Oh, God. And then which I apologize, but, and then her expression said it all. Like, we are not a couple. That is just stupid. That's what I got out of that. Did you notice that at all?
I did. And I completely agree. And I actually felt sorry for Ashley and like, wait a minute. They're seeing us as a couple. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I fell into this.
Yes,
we are a pair and we're like this. That's when she wants to go to somebody else. But the more as Alan said, the more you deny, the less I'm going to believe you. He even said that you keep denying it. What else is she going to do?
Yeah. Well, you keep saying it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to keep denying it. Well, I'm not going to believe you.
Right. And then if you don't say anything, see, you're not denying it. That's what those kind of people do. People like Alan and people like Joe, they just, no matter what you say, they use it and they're bigger and they're louder. And you know what? It's like this. Well, it's an unintelligent way to have a conversation. There you go.
I think it could also be a strategy. Unfortunately, I don't think it's a great strategy, but he comes back the next day and talks about he understood it and probably shouldn't have done it, but he's doing it in front of people to put targets on their backs. But you know what? Like I said, if Alan gets swapped up with JP and Ashley, he's probably gone. You know, why would you? I don't understand. I don't think it's a good strategy at all.
Okay. I think he does have some strategy that way, but I think that night he was a little off the rocker. There you go. That's what I think. Anyway, okay. Alan is about to be bug-eyed crazy. I know where it's at. Boy, he kept saying that. And then one of the things he said that just drove me crazy. Y'all are saying I'm tripping. I'm tripping about that idol in your pants. I mean, oh my gosh. JP's finally like, look here, I'll just strip down. And Alan like leans down in front of him, awkward. And he's like, let me see that.
Grabs his shoes.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, and then he still thinks he has it. And yet he comes out in the confessional goes, I don't know if he has it or not. I'm just wanting to make a scene.
It's a good thing that Ashley didn't have a super idol or something she could have done to boot Alan because she was right. That this is a person you can't trust if they can act like this. It's like being accused of something that you weren't even in the state when it happened. It's frustrating.
Okay. So if it indeed is this grand master plan of his, I think it's a bad plan. There you go. So I'm not going to say to people, no, it can't be his plan. I'm just going to say if it is his plan, I think it's stupid.
Oh, I agree.
So there you go.
He's gonna need a good swap if he gets a swap, because if you swap with them, he's probably in trouble.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Day 3 immunity challenge. All right, here we go. This is the immunity challenge. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Up cargo, pull heavy cart, get in cart, fly down the ramp, run to the ball mazes, pick a ball maze, pull heavy ball maze up new ramp, complete ball maze, win immunity. That was the challenge. And a good one, I thought.
Did you think I did too. I liked it as a whole. But did you think I could hear voices in my head at the end saying it all comes down to the maze? All that work and it all comes down to the maze. We always say that,
but there wasn't a lot. Okay, that's one reason why I liked it. There wasn't a ton of, oh my gosh, we got to do all this. There was an actual reason to get there first, and that's to pick your maze. There was actually a legitimate reason to put any effort in the beginning of it. Yay.
Okay. I am not one of those people that I just talked about. I liked it a lot. What I really liked was once you picked the maze, you still had to do something with it before it became a maze.
Yes.
I loved that they threw another team thing before they actually had to do the maze.
Exactly.
And speaking of team, like you said, if it weren't for Rourke, who knows how long it would have taken them to get those 3 balls down into the holes.
That's right.
And at the end of the Hustler Tribe, it was Patrick down there, coach, because he didn't start where he was. He started in the back of the group, but by the last ball, he was in the front, talking them through it. And I loved how he and Rourke were not barking. They were not yelling. Right. They were not getting overexcited. They were calmly talking them through it. And I loved how the 2 workers on the tables listened.
Yeah.
They didn't tell them to be quiet. They didn't tell them to stop talking. They just listened, dealt with it, and did their work. Right. I loved it. I thought it was a really good challenge.
Okay. There's several things I want to say about this challenge, but I want to ask you, I know which maze I would have picked. I would have wanted it to be my first pick. And I think I would have been able to get it no matter what. No matter what place I got there. Do you know which one I would have picked?
And you think it would have been there even third?
Because I don't think anybody else would have thought it was the easiest.
But the line down the middle?
The straight one, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would have wanted that one first.
Absolutely.
Because if it fails quickly.
Not only that, but just like Rourke said, once you get it, you got it. Yeah. And you only have to figure out one thing to get it to work, right? And then it's quick.
Yeah, it takes 4 seconds to get it down that line.
Yeah.
And then you're there.
It's great.
Exactly.
So there you go there. Another thing, we're going to get to the tie vote comment after we talk about this, because we're going to give you, David, a time to explain what that meant for those that don't know. According to Katrina, when she was talking to Wiggler, even though they got to the platform last, the healers ran away with this. Again, they had that easy puzzle, right? Or that easy maze. They ran away with it. Of course, they made it to look like it was very close, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So Chrissy,
I thought the heroes puzzle was crazy. I'm like, that's a lot of work to get that ball through there. It might be easier, but it's still a lot of work to get that ball through the maze.
Bruce, I think Bruce in our chat room. Then why do you think it was picked last? Because I think people saw it, and well, I don't know, David. Why do you think it was picked last?
I don't think people really looked at it and saw, and I don't think they took a second to look at it. I think they just looked at the other mazes and said, "We can do that. We can do that."
Yeah.
And
Gwen says it looks deceptively hard. I almost think it looks so easy that you think there must be something that would make that hard. So I'm not going to pick it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That looks like the obvious choice, but it must not be. So I'm going to go pick this one that I know, it's the unknown versus the known.
Yeah. See, I'd like to know how much detail they got during the challenge, because we've been told that after Probst does his TV spot, they walk them through the challenge to make sure they understand the challenge. Did they even get a chance to look at the mazes very close? Did they not get a close-up look? And that's why some of them were nervous about, because they obviously picked which maze they wanted before they even got there, before the challenge probably started.
Right.
They were ready to pick them right away.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Christy throws up, and okay, I'm liking Ben more and more. Mr. Good Old Country Boy, what's he doing while she's on the ground? He's fanning her with his cowboy hat. And then he makes a wonderful quote, right? You can't say that we don't give it our all.
Absolutely. He also makes a shadow for her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which encourages her. Our team's behind you. This isn't going to hurt your chances with us, even though you're in the bottom two. I like Ben.
He became a healer at that moment.
Yeah. All right. So earlier, Probst made a comment to these people, which apparently meant something to them. He said, tie votes are back in. So, David, I'm sure there are people who are listening that aren't quite sure what he meant. So would you please explain how tie votes will be dealt with this season?
It goes back to the original rule. It's in the survival rules. Andy Daynart put it on his Reality Board page. If you Google survival rules, you'll go to Andy's page, and it's like Section B, Part 10, area 6. And it talks about if there is a tie between contestants, then a second vote may be conducted in which all non-eliminated contestants at the tribal council, other than the tied tribals, must vote to eliminate one of the tied contestants. So they'll do a revote, a blind revote. I don't remember them doing any politicking during that time. I think they just sent them all back to revote except for the people that were tied. Mm-hmm. And if it's still tied, then I believe they got one more chance to make a vote. If not, they had to go to rocks. But most times it was a split vote, and that's why it tied, and then they go back and they revote, and the one person goes.
Well, so which one is it? You just said rocks.
That's if they can't break the tie, if they continue to vote in a tie.
I thought that it went to the people who were voted for and it tied, they don't get to vote if they can't decide on somebody? No, yeah, you're right. They don't have to draw rocks. I got it.
This voting process may continue until one and only one contestant is chosen for elimination. If, however, there is a deadlock and the voting is determined by the producer in its sole discretion, then the following shall occur. A, the contestants who are tied with the same number of votes for elimination are separated from the other contestants. And B, the remaining non-eliminated, non-tied contestants at the tribal council have 2 minutes to discuss and decide in open forum which of the tied contestants should be eliminated. If a decision is reached by the remaining non-eliminated, non-tied contestants, then the contestant whom they have chosen for elimination is eliminated. On the other hand, if after the 2-minute discussion, the remaining non-eliminated, non-tied contestants have not reached a decision, should be eliminated, the following shall occur. The tied contestants are now deemed immune, and the remaining non-eliminated, non-tied contestants, skipping all the qualifying, must choose a rock from a bag.
Okay, there you go. We're going to rocks.
Right. Eventually it goes to rocks. It went quicker last season.
Right. Eventually it goes to rocks. Yeah. Okay.
So I wanted to see the scene where somebody goes back to camp and says, what did he mean when he said the tie votes are back?
Yeah.
Because there would have to have been somebody.
Well, Gwen said in the chat room, they saw the first few episodes and Jeff mentioned it in the first episode of 34 because they had already seen a little bit of 34 before they got on the island.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So maybe that's what he was doing, just to eliminate any whatever. But they could have just as easily just said that to them. I mean, they're already explaining all the rules to them anyway. So they're probably standing there going, yeah, we know that. You've told us all the rules. So he did that for the benefit of us.
All right. So Gwen brought up a good point, not to go too far back, but on another podcast, they talked about how the maze that the heroes chose did not appear to have any spots where the ball could fall off.
Really?
It was going to stay in the maze. They just had to get it through the holes of the maze, the slots and the doorways. So,
yeah, cool.
See, Gwen, I'm not listening, but I'm reading. So,
yeah, he's reading when I'm talking, Gwen. Stop it. All right. Heroes Day 3.
I'm surprised you stayed awake while I just read all that.
Yeah. So. It's time for Crazy Camp. Again, Chrissy and Katrina go off by themselves. And this is where you know that Chrissy has no intention of playing this for Katrina because she would have told Katrina.
Yeah.
No intention of doing it.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about preseason, where they're going to get separated. These two ladies are going to be seen as the oldest, and Chrissy is going to be the one that turns on Katrina, in my opinion. I felt like she was the one that was going to get in better. And I think Katrina even said that Chrissy was having more conversations than she was with the other four, which we did not see because that would have given away, it was going to be for Katrina.
Right.
So,
if Gwen is half this funny in real life, she'd be a blast to talk to. She's great.
Well, now what is she saying?
Oh, I barely stayed awake, David. I love her. She's great. Okay. Anyway. All right. So Chris and Katrina go off by themselves. We all good? Yeah. But okay. Alan does not look good. I'm sorry. He looks like he's irritated and about to go off on anybody. I mean, seriously.
Right. First, he's talking to Katrina, and then he calls up Chrissy. So they had somehow gotten separated, but he's talking to Katrina. Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You're talking about he's talking to Chrissy and Katrina.
No, I was talking about I was talking about in the shelter when Ben and Ashley and them are going. So we're a solid 4. Alan does not look like a solid 4. And then what does he do? He just walks away. He's talking to Katrina, and then loudly, so everybody in the camp can hear. Hey, Chrissy, come here. We got to talk some strategy. What?
Well, this don't be seen talking to people you're voting out.
And then don't yell really loud.
because this is something I thought. Oh, I know anyway. Then Ben makes a statement later that everything was fine. We're going to go stick to the plan, but he doesn't mention that Alan messed it up. But I wonder if Ashley and JP were thinking, you know what? Let's vote with Chrissy and Katrina and get rid of Alan. I think all four of them suddenly dissolved. I don't think it was just Alan. I think Ashley and JP were on a point because he didn't say Alan goes against it. He says we've lost the plan. It's like the plan's not together anymore.
Well, based on what Katrina said, again, I'm sorry, but I did listen to Katrina's interview with Wiggler the day after. Mm-hmm. She knew she was going home the whole time. There was never a 4-person alliance with her and Ashley and JP and Chrissy. So
what he said was the plan's blowing up because no one is sticking to the original plan. Well, so I just wonder if there was some other conversation. Would you consider voting off Alan?
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, Ashley and JP have got to be ticked, right? Why are we keeping Alan around? He's just going to cause problems. And Alan's going around talking about them. And Ben's the only one. Ben's the only sane person. Ben and Chrissy are the only two sane people in the whole place. At least acting sane. I think Ashley and JP are sane, but they're going around crazy all too. So anyway,
so editing puts them in a situation where it's 2-2-2 again, and we just don't know who's going to go home.
Yeah,
right.
Well. All right, this is where Chrissy finds the idol, and we've already talked about how she played it and how she did not play it and how that's still playing it, and we've already had our discussion about that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no need to rehash that I was right. There's no need to go through all that again, so we won't. All right, Tribal Council. See, you didn't even hear that. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I thought you were still talking about how we've already talked about something.
Oh,
What'd you say?
Okay. No, I'm not even going to tell you what I said.
You went back and forth about how it's played, not played, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And I said,
okay. All right. Hey, it's no big deal. There have been times during this episode that I have not heard you because I have been reading something else. So I can't really call the kettle black.
Well, I'm getting to my next notes.
All right. Well, let's do it. Are you at the Tribal Council? Are you there?
I am, but I hardly wrote anything down because it was kind of a foregone conclusion for me, and I knew she wasn't going to play it. So,
well, Alan's eyes were bug-eyed the whole time. Alan, to me, Alan looked uncomfortable and on edge the entire Tribal, even from the moment he sat down. He looked like he was on edge.
Didn't seem like the guy from the interviews.
No, and this is a former Dallas Cowboy. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. He is greatly disappointing me.
Yep.
So Ashley calls out the Alan crazy night, right? Mm-hmm. Alan tries to combine Ashley and JP, doing that very, very hard, trying to make that happen, And, he's doing what Varner tried to do, only Varner tried to do it with a very sensitive subject, but he's doing what Varner tried to do, trying to call somebody out so everybody knows what they're doing, right? And that's what Alan's saying. I'm going to take a chance just so I want everybody to know that this is what's going on, and I'm going to call it out. Now, that's his strategy. That's what he's doing at Tribal.
I think it's redundant at this point. Everybody knows that they're in pairs. Yes. And the other part is, I think he's doing what production wants him to do. He's giving drama at Tribal because otherwise the four of them are going, no, we're good. We're ready to vote. No, we're ready to vote.
Wait, you're saying you think production told him to do this?
No, I didn't say that. I said he's doing what production loves. He's causing drama at Tribal.
Okay.
So they're going to show all that.
Yeah. I got you. Apparently, he said, I'm not crazy, I'm confident a lot. Katrina said he said it a lot.
Yeah.
So
now I like when it became obvious that it was 4 against 2, and Chrissy and Katrina got to talk, and Katrina, after Chrissy, talks about how everyone being on the chopping block at some point, but we all need to work on getting along as a tribe, yada, yada, as if she's going back. And she knows she's not. But I like what Chrissy said. Chrissy had an excellent point about voting off someone with a certain skill set that may be different than the majority.
Right.
She's not physical. Katrina even said she's not that strong. She was, thrown up before a challenge. But keeping all the jocks won't necessarily keep the brains. So you're going to want to keep somebody around that's smart enough to do puzzles and other things, not necessarily all muscle.
Right.
I thought that was a very good point that she made.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Next time on is all about couples. 2 couples joining and 1 couple splitting up.
Yep. I wrote down after that Chrissy got an overwhelming amount of face shots during the vote reads. I think one was for Ashley, one was for Katrina, one was for Alan. But Chrissy got a lot of them, and especially when Katrina got voted off. Chrissy's view was, or her look was, it's not personal, it's just business.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got to go. But
yeah.
But she said, Katrina said in her CBS little clip at the end, she said that she thinks she started too fast, but wish she had taught more strategy. And I wrote down, if you aren't talking strategy to someone every day, or someone isn't talking to you, you are the next to go.
Right. Yeah.
So definitely.
And Katrina's told Wiggler that no one was talking strategy to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm out there, David, and no one's talking strategy to me, I am very nervous. I'm going to go around and start talking strategy to somebody. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to go around and start saying, I heard them saying this about you.
Yep.
I mean, at that point, you got to stir up some trouble.
Exactly. And I get the feeling she wasn't going to do that.
No.
I just get that feeling.
No. In fact, Wiggler said that because he was there for the final tribal or for that tribal. And he said that she had this big, long final speech before they went and voted. And she didn't say you should vote for any. She didn't give a name. Like, okay, let's all vote for this person. So there you go.
So, yeah. I wrote for next time on new power couple, Ben and Chrissy, budding romance, Cole and Jessica, and bad breakup, Allie and Patrick.
That's right. All right. So before we get to feedback, David, we are having a D&D patron sweepstakes, which I am pretty excited about. David Wright enjoyed being on our show a lot, and he said that he would enjoy helping us out a little bit. So he said the winner of our sweepstakes, our D&D patron sweepstakes, gets a signed buff from David and maybe others, and a Skype call with David, right? Of Millennials versus Generation X, if you're not quite sure who that is.
Yeah. And
then 2 runners-up get to join that Skype call, and then every single D&D patron gets assigned a personally, what's it, where he writes your name on it, to so-and-so David Wright, and they get a picture of him. So that's the D&D patron sweepstakes. You can go to stwdd.com/sweepstakes. That's /sweepstakes for all the details. You can go do that. Go do that.
Everybody sit back. It's time for feedback. Our listeners have to say what's on their minds today. D&D will hear you. D&D will read you. D&D will take the time to take your lines, analyze, and feel you. It's feedback. Survivor Talk with D&D. Take and listen to feedback, y'all. That's right.
If you want to be a part of our feedback segment next week, just go to stwdd.com/feedback and tell us what you think by our deadline Thursday at 7 p.m. Again, that's stwdd.com/feedback. And while you're there, you might as well look around and see what else you can see. So, David, who's up first?
First, we got Laz from Kansas, and he doesn't quite do the good, bad, and ugly, but he does do the good and the bad.
Oh, cool.
So he starts off by saying, good first episode. First, the good.
Oh, this is cool. He does do the good, bad, and ugly. You stole it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Ryan made a connection. Please, I don't need to be accused in the podcast of stealing something.
Sorry.
Ryan made a connection with Devin. This is the good. Ryan made a connection with Devin and gave the idol to the person who threw up at the challenge. Yeah, I do. We didn't really expand on that, but Ryan's decision was perfect in my mind. Don't give it to a stud. Don't give it to somebody that's an alpha or a leader. If you're going to have to give it away, throw the dice and take a chance on upsetting another tribe completely, throwing another tribe completely off kilter. Just go for it. I mean, that's what it's meant for. Mm-hmm. And I think he made the absolute right decision. It did not play out like he wanted, but the choice was good. Ideally for him, anyone but Kat Chrissy would have gone home. Yep. So also Ben navigated Alan's chaos well. And from the preview, he will pick Chrissy up. So there's another reason for Alan not to be Alan if that's what leads to him going to Chrissy. This puts him in a good spot with Chrissy plus Alan, who alienated JP/Ashley if they go back to tribal. Even if Alan doesn't calm down, 3 versus 2 is better than voting Alan and going 2 versus 2. Good point. Chrissy not playing the idol was good. Without knowledge of an early swap, you have to go for tribe strength and work social angles. Oh, absolutely. The bad follows. I liked Joe questioning Mike, but it was a little too intense. However, I was more disappointed in Mike not playing along more with Joe's one-on-one respect comment. Missed opportunity by Mike, making an enemy where you could have done better, and he was obviously idol hunting.
See, I don't know if he made an enemy. I think by that time, I feel like Mike knew there is no normal person conversation going to happen with Joe. So I'm done trying that. I'm just going to let Joe say what he's going to say and let Joe walk off.
I think Laz's comment is coming from the end where Mike talks about perception being reality, and now he thinks he's 90% perceived to have an idol and in trouble. So, but yeah, he does do an ugly. Sorry, I didn't see it below. The ugly is last. Hopefully, hunger paranoia just got to Alan the first few days and he regroups. But dang, making JP strip.
Yeah.
I think casting shade on the power couple was good, but it should have been much closer to the vest and probably in the shelter, not necessarily out on the beach in front of everybody.
Right.
You don't want to tell people that you're putting a target on them. You just want to put a target on them without them knowing about it. I did all that. Back to Laz. Even if he continues like that, I think he is a good shield for Ben to keep around. Good point. For fear of length. Oh, for fear of length, that is it for now. Other than saying, I hope they do an early swap at 16 instead of playing it out more. Adios from Laz from Kansas.
All right. Hold on. Gwen told me I made a mistake on something.
Uh-oh. Can't have that.
You didn't say sent from my iPhone.
Oh, you made him a typo on the sweepstakes. Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, David Holdsworth. Hi, guys. Welcome back from lovely New Jersey. Admittedly, I wasn't overly excited about this season of Survivor. The cast didn't strike me before the premiere as exceptional or particularly interesting, and I thought the season's theme was awkward and contrived. But I'm happy to say that I was wrong. Now, after one episode, I think we're looking at a very good season. Let me say that again. Now, after one episode, I think we're looking at a very good season. One of my beliefs about the game of Survivor is that you cannot win the game in the first few days, but you can definitely lose it. It amazes me after so many seasons that players forget this and act in a way that puts their head on the chopping block as a target right out of the gate. One way to do this is to act crazy. Hello, Alan. Maybe you have a well-thought-out plan behind your actions, but in the first episode, at least you looked like an insane guy tilting at windmills. Excuse me. Another way to draw the eye of your tribe is to go off on obvious idol hunts. David Wright almost fell victim to this a few seasons ago, and Mike, the urologist, didn't learn this lesson. Can you continue for me?
Sure, but the biggest early strategic error is to not be physically present with your tribe. If you aren't with the rest of the people in your tribe, who do you think they are painting a target on? Exactly. And that's what ended up biting Katrina. She already had to know she was different from the young ones on her tribe. She should have planted herself in a friendly way in the middle of them at all times. If anything, that was going to be her only saving grace. You're right, David. That is it. Plant yourself in the shelter, plant yourself in their huddle, be near them. Connected. And we may not have seen scenes where she was doing this. Right. But she had, like you said, she admitted post game that she never felt a part of the group. Right. So I do think that casting has found their villain for this season, Joe, who seems to be the mirror universe version of Steve Helling.
Poor Steve.
Yes.
Or
well,
poor
David
Joe.
Steve of history. So yes. Thanks and have a great week, D&D World. So let me ask you this, since Dave brought it up, and I was thinking about this earlier. The theme of seasons go away so fast. I really wish they'd come up with a theme that would hold longer and give some sort of connection between people, like West Coast versus East Coast, or something that what is something that would stick around. I mean, white collar, blue collar, red, no collar didn't even last. I mean, it just does. I mean, I know in the game of Survivor, once you get to the merge, nothing matters. But I just wish there was some theme that would hold longer, that would just cause people to stay together longer. I don't know what it would be.
I don't know, David. All right. Let's go to Will, the giant ninja.
What's up, guys? It's Will from Wonder Lake again, a.k.a. the Giant Ninja. Well, here we are, episode 1 from season 35 of the greatest show in the history of television. So it's time for my first feedback of the season, and I thought I'd just get this party started the right way. In my car, driving down the road, lots of road noise, lots of static. It is going to drive Dwaine crazy. So there you go. Love you, Dwaine. For this week's feedback, what I thought I would do is take 3 players, one from each tribe, that based on the preseason press, I was convinced I would love, and look at their moves last night according to my mantra, which is always seek the upside. Never do anything unless there's an upside. And so with that, I thought I would look first at the Heroes tribe, Alan Ball. Now, I really, really, really wanted to like Alan Ball. I am a diehard Bears fan. I went to Northwestern for law school. I'm not the biggest University of Illinois fan, but still, we got to stick together. I really wanted to love Alan and love Alan's game, but last night, he absolutely was not thinking about upside. He correctly surmised that there was a power 2 inside of his alliance of 4, and that was a direct threat to him and his game. Kudos. Bravo. That's the right way to see things. But what he did with that information had no upside and all downside. By freaking out, by his hashtag tripping, Alan effectively put himself outside of his own alliance. And that's never what you want to do. That's all downside, no upside. Best case scenario from what he did, he found out that one of his alliance members did have an idol and was hiding it from him, and he fractures the alliance. That's the best case. That's the upside. Man, keep that to yourself. If you want to try and sow distrust, do so, but don't do so as resulting in you being the one distrusted.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, the healers. Dr. Mike. I freaking love Dr. Mike. I love everything about Dr. Mike, and he did a great job last night, except when it came to being called out by Joe, who I also love. Now, when Joe correctly knew that Dr. Mike was looking for an idol, he called him on it, and Dr. Mike missed an upside opportunity. He should have used that situation to manufacture a new ally. He should have said, dude, you got me. I was looking for an idol. I haven't found it yet. I plan to. I want to. I assume you want to too. Let's look together. We'll look out for each other. I'll keep an eye out while you're looking. You keep an eye out while I'm looking. If either one of us finds it, we'll tell the other one, and maybe we'll be able to use it to help the other one. We'll have each other's back. He could have taken that moment and used it as an opportunity to generate an ally. Now, maybe it wouldn't have worked. Maybe Joe would have had nothing to do with that, but at least there was an upside to that move, as opposed to what Mike actually did, which was say, okay, that was the end of it. No upside, absolutely no upside whatsoever to dismissing Joe's accusation. Now, number 3, the Hustlers tribe, Ryan, my brother from another mother. Ryan, I love you. You are the best. If you and I were in a party together in a room, I don't think people could tell us apart. You and your 125 pounds soaking wet, pretty much the exact same thing as my left leg. We're the same, you and me, and I love it. And last night, you correctly sought out the upside and made the right move twice with the same idol, the same super idol that had a one-time use. Because it had a one-time use, it was in your interest to use it to try and generate an ally on your tribe, which you did. Upside, brilliant. And because it expired, you had to give it away, and you gave it away to a weak player, strength-wise, a weak player, to try and keep another tribe weaker for challenges, which, again, you did correctly. Now, you gave it to the wrong weak player. Obviously, they were voting out Katrina and not Chrissy, but how could you know that? You gave it to the one who was throwing up. Bravo. Upside, upside, upside. I love it. I'm going to love watching you play, Ryan. And that's all I've got. Later, peeps. Will out. the Giant Ninja.
Will, I would ask you, why does it mean it was the wrong person? Just because he gave it to Chrissy, but Chrissy wasn't the person going home, doesn't particularly mean it was the wrong person.
Well, he gave it to the wrong person, as in the person that got voted out. He didn't give it to that person. But it could be more advantageous in Chrissy's hands than saving Katrina.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think he gave it to the right person. Because if you give it to the person that was, well, anyway, like you said before, if you give it to the person and they use it, then now they're a target even again. If you give it to a person and they don't have to use it, then that's a future alliance person. So I think he gave it to the right person unknowingly, right? And it worked out. Now, I really liked what he had to say about Joe and Mike, because we didn't even approach it from that perspective. And that was, Mike should have taken advantage of this situation and talked to Joe. It's like, you know what? You're exactly right. This is what I was doing. This is what I was doing. Why don't we do this kind of stuff together? Why don't we be a team? You know, and then give Joe the satisfaction of being the big guy, you know, and then take advantage of it later. Because I guarantee you, Mike is smarter than Joe.
Yeah.
So he could outplay him.
Yeah, that's kind of what Laz was getting at too when he says Mike missed an opportunity to work with Joe when he could have come back with that instead of just kind of responding to his comments, engaging him more.
Right.
Getting into it. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. So Miriam/Vader Girl, who is also in our chat room. Here we go.
Hey, Dave and Dwayne. This is Miriam. I'm trying to record my audio because SpeakPipe was not updated with the new iPhone 11.02 update. A little bit frustrating, so I hope this works. I loved Survivor last night. It was great. I'm all about Team Ryan. Ryan, the law student, pre-law bellhop. He's fantastic. He's my winner pick. I love him. So I just can't say enough about Ryan. Go for the win. Team Vader. And I really liked a lot of the characters. I think it was a little bit of a slow opening. I wished it would have been 90 minutes. I love that Alan was a little bit of a bad guy. That was kind of funny. I'm all about Team Hustlers. I also picked Patrick. I really like him. So he might be like a Tyler Fredrickson type and just say nothing. I don't know. Like I said, I'm all about Ryan. And anyways, thank you guys for everything. I hope this audio recording works. Again, this is Miriam, otherwise known as Vader Girl. Love to the D&D, love to the patrons, support D&D, shop Amazon, use their link. And thanks, guys. I hope to see you in chat. May the force be with you. Black cats and kill for life. Bye.
I love that Vader Girl has her own, closing of all of her feedback. She has it like written down. Thanks to all this, thanks to this, thanks to this, thanks to this. Black cats rule and stuff like that. I don't
think she writes it down.
It just comes right off the top of her head. Right. Absolutely. And what's funny is during her whole entire feedback, she was having a conversation with Gwen about iOS 11. They weren't even listening.
And psych.
Yeah. They're in the chat room watching us record this, which, by the way, if you're listening to this, obviously you listen to it after Saturday, unless you're a patron, then you got it on Friday. We do record live, and you can watch us record. It's quite fun. You get to see some of the pre-show stuff we do, and it's kind of cool. All right.
Yeah, we're just so happy we can bring people together in our chat room while we're trying to have a conversation.
I know. Do you want me to read the last one since you basically read my last one?
Sure.
All right. I'll do that for you, David. Gwen is back. David, listen up. Oh, wait. You might have wanted to do this one since it's Gwen.
No. I'll follow her directions and listen.
Okay.
I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Yeah. I am so excited that Survivor is back. Don't have much time, but wanted to leave some feedback. Jeff is, what is that? Bada? Oh, the asterisks mean S's. Yeah. Okay. So he's bad aspirin. How's that? All right. The premiere, boy, Gwen's going, wow, you idiot. Well, sorry. All right.
Thank you.
The premiere really needed to be 1.5 to 2 hours, especially with new players. Patrick, the last person to eat a bug on day one, won the game. Apparently at you can't do that, insert smiley emoji here. Although the aforementioned winner also threw up. Should we be looking for a Chrissy win? Ooh, Gwen, way to notice those things. Mm-hmm. Cool. Alan, that is not an idol. Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, I had some jokes about that, but I'm not going to.
No, we're not. This is a family-friendly podcast. JP is just as happy to see Ashley. Oh, JP is just happy. Okay. Anyway, Alan is rivaling. You know what? You should have read this. This was.
It's all yours, buddy.
Okay. All right. JP is just happy to see Ashley. Alan is rivaling Eliza's tribal council eye game. Katrina, she came in like a hurricane. Oh, wow. Gwen the pun maker is what's going on here. Ryan slayed those confessionals. That's all for now. Can't wait for next week. Sincerely, Gwen from Santa Barbara. Wow, Gwen. Good stuff. You got anything else about Gwen's? All right.
From the creators of Survivor Talk with D&D comes a new podcast that is guaranteed to entertain the TV watcher in all of us. In Rewind Fast Forward with D&D, David and Dwaine take on the entire season of a show they have already watched as they rewind back to discuss each episode, knowing what lies ahead on the Fast Forward. Their first season to Rewind Fast Forward is Season 1 of the Netflix hit show Stranger Things. Look for Rewind Fast Forward with D&D on iTunes. Subscribe now to catch episodes 1 and 2 of Stranger Things. Rewind Fast Forward with D&D. Just two best friends talking about a season they love.
You write them. We read them. iTunes reviews.
Of which we don't have any. We don't have any iTunes reviews. It's been, 3 months? The last review we got was in May. So, hey, if you want to write us a review and you liked us, then write it. If you didn't like us, well, go write on a review, write on a podcast that you do like and leave us alone. Anyway, we do have iTunes reviews. Whenever we do have them, we read them and we talk about them. So thank you for everyone's feedback. Great stuff as usual. Any comments, David, about the feedback, or other than we're just thrilled to have them?
I like them short because they always come with good quality.
Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I love our feedback. And one thing I love about our feedback, we've said it before, is we really enjoy interacting with our feedback. We don't want to just read it. So anyway, so we just want to say thank you for listening. And thanks for all of you who watched and talked in the chat room as we recorded the show on Thursday night. Also, thank you to our D&D patrons. And to show you our thanks, you get the show on Friday instead of Saturday. And if you want, you can check out our other two podcasts, Movie Talk with D&D and the aforementioned by my son who did that commercial, Rewind Fast Forward with D&D. In fact, we just finished season 1 of Stranger Things. So go check it out on our website. David, I cannot wait for season 2 of Stranger Things. I mean, I have to. It's 33 days away?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
7th of October.
Please tell me that's not a Thursday night.
It's a Friday night. I don't know.
We may have to
see. 31. That might be a Thursday. Yeah.
No. The 1st is a Sunday, and there's 30 days. The 1st is a Sunday, so then you got the 8th, then you got the 15th, then you got the 20th. It's a Friday night. It's a Friday.
It's a Friday, you're right.
Right.
Halloween weekend.
Yeah. Gwen says we should do a rewind fast forward of Psych. Have you ever watched Psych, David?
Nope.
Oh my goodness, David, you would love it. It's hilarious.
I've got enough to watch.
It's full of this of the humor you and I love. Oh my goodness, you've got to watch season 1.
Psych.
Season 2's been. Oh, come on.
I think I have tried to watch it and didn't.
I mean, I've watched stuff. Did you change hats during the middle of the episode?
Thank you for noticing.
What the heck?
During one of the feedback. Yeah.
And you moved all your buffs around behind you. No, I'm just kidding.
I sure did. I just finished binge watching season 4 of Blacklist, which was really good.
Oh, I'm watching Breaking Bad again.
Are you really?
I don't know why. I just decided I'm going to watch Breaking Bad again.
Plus, Walking Dead's getting ready to start again, so I'm going to get ready to watch that.
I don't watch Walking Dead. Boring.
We just lost half of our. No.
Well, it's an hour and 36 minutes. It's actually one of our shorter episodes. So, Psych
quality over quantity.
That's right. All right. Any final words, David, or predictions? Anything like that?
Going off Gwen's. I almost said confession. Going off her feedback.
Gwen's confessional.
I actually picked Mike is my special survivor for extra points in Mark's fantasy league.
So did I.
I picked Mike because I just thought he'd get a lot of confessionals. He maybe even find an idol. But my winner pick on our Facebook group, I think Kieran put in a poll or pick a winner or somebody put in a who do you think's going to win?
I think that was Kieran.
Actually put who?
I thought that was Kieran.
Kieran, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said Cole. Sorry.
Oh, no. Cole's in Survivor.
Yeah, I know that. That doesn't mean you didn't say him. You mean you called Ryan, David, and Adam. So don't get on to me.
Just seeing if you were listening.
Mm-hmm.
But as my pick, I picked Chrissy. And after her getting sick, of course, when she got sick and got up, my first thought went to Wendy from Northern Virginia, who I played Durham Warriors with, who got sick and ended up winning Durham Warriors because she got sick and threw up and then went back and won. And that was my first thought. And I saw her. I'm like, hey, maybe my winner pick might actually come through for this one. So I do like Chrissy. I think she's got a good all around sense. I like that she can get away with being younger, and I'm glad that she made the decision she did.
By the way, David's referring to our fantasy team or our D&D Survivor Challenge. I don't think we call it that anymore because now we're doing Marks.
Yep.
David and I are part of on our Facebook group. Again, you should be a part of that. What is your team name, David, and who's on your team?
I was afraid you were going to ask me that.
You want me to tell you mine first?
I submitted it, and I really don't even remember what it was now.
Oh, mine is the Fijian Fartalots, and my team is Allie from the Hustlers and Lauren from the Hustlers. So I have 2 Hustlers. Ashley Nolan from the Heroes and Chrissy Hoffbeck from the Heroes. I have 2 Heroes. And then I have 5 Healers. Of the 6 Healers, I got 5 of them on my team.
Wow.
Cole, Desi, Jessica, Rourke, and Mike. I don't have Joe. Just the other ones.
Mark made that picture for us. So I do see my tribe is called Mantees Lost.
Oh, yeah. Why did I do this whenever he made a picture for us?
Yeah, he made that neat picture for us. And I've got Alan, Ben, which I'm glad about, Chrissy, my winner pick. They're the only heroes I have. Then I have Ryan and Patrick from the Hustlers.
Uh-huh.
And then I have Mike, Jessica, and Desi from the Healers. Oh, and I have JP. I do have JP for the Heroes. I like the Heroes tribe going into this, but of course they lost the first challenge, so that didn't really mean anything.
Oh, I think Healers going. They're not going to lose before the swap.
So I got 4 healer. I got 4 heroes, 3 healers, and 3 hustlers.
Oh, by the way, I didn't think Jeff Probst was playing, David. This is a reference to our pre-season party.
Yes.
And yes, I am calling you out on something. So feel free to call me out on something.
What, that my notes that I shared with you couldn't read?
Yes. No. So David shared with me his notes.
What were you having trouble reading my notes?
No, shut up. Full exposure. David shared with me his notes on the players. I had my notes that weren't any good, and he shared with me his. All right. Now, he just called JP, right? The whole season, we're going to call JP because that's who he is, right? So David has on this, JP said such and such. So I'm thinking, well, obviously David's talking about the player, JP, but no, he was talking about Jeff Probst. So I made a complete fool of myself on the show when I thought it was JP, and David goes, Dwaine, that was Jeff Probst. JP, Jeff Probst.
So when I wrote the notes, I was writing them for me.
Yeah, whatever.
And each player actually had a Wiggler comment, a Probst comment, than generic comments.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Next time I'll write my notes better so that you can understand them better.
That's right. Oh, I guess we could have ended the podcast already, the episode. I don't have any final words, and you don't have any final words. So that's all, folks. See ya.
See ya.
Survivor Talk with D&D is a production of D&D Podcasting and is hosted by David Jones and Dwaine Stroud, the 2 Ds in D&D. We're 2 best friends who decided way back in December of 2011 that we wanted to share our love of Survivor with all who would listen. Follow me on Twitter at Survivor_talk. Join our Facebook group at stwdd.com/Facebook. A special thanks goes out to Adam Klein, the winner of Survivor Millennials vs. Generation X, for providing both his voice and time for our show introduction. The amazing music you heard is Never Again by Breaking Benjamin. Thank you to Mark Percy, who creates all of our graphics and puts up with my OCD for each new graphic he creates. Thank you to Patrick Monroe, who spent countless hours designing our website and continues to provide support at all hours of the night. Visit our website at stwdd.com for quick and easy access to our most recent shows, as well as all of the others. Discover our 2 other podcasts, Rewind Fast Forward with D&D and Movie Talk with D&D. Check out our D&D store for shirts, hoodies, and even coffee mugs, or just look around and click on things. We couldn't create and produce our podcast without the financial support of our D&D patrons, as well as those who use our Amazon links. So thank you for going above and beyond and sharing in the fun of D&D. Become a D&D patron at stwdd.com/patron and enjoy immediate access to all of our shows prior to their release date. On a personal note, thank you to David for your friendship and for not telling me I was crazy about this whole podcasting thing. To God be all the glory. Thanks for listening.